Top 5 world-changing inventions you didn't know were Scottish. 5. The refrigerator. Food preservation, such as drying and fermenting, dates back to ancient times, maybe as early as 10,000 to 12,000 years ago, according to some anthropologists. But change was in the air in 1755, when the Scottish professor and physician William Cullen created the first artificial refrigerator. Cullen used a pump to create a vacuum over a container of diesel ether, and then heated the ether, thus absorbing the heat from the surrounding air and cooling the container. Cullen's experiment was purely scientific, though, and he did not pursue the practical application of his creation. But it was his research that provided the starting point for the commercialization of artificial refrigeration. Of course, the impact of refrigeration goes well beyond food storage. It's useful for anything that needs to be kept cold, and even allowed for the creation of towns and cities in previously inhospitably hot locations. 4. Color photographs. You might know that Scotsman John Logie Baird was responsible for not only the television, but also for color television. But did you know that a Scotsman was also responsible for color photographs? In 1861, the mathematician James Clerk Maxwell created the foundation for all practical color processes, the three-color method. The first color photograph was of a tartan ribbon, very appropriate given that it was the experiment of a Scot for one of Maxwell's lectures on color theory. Maxwell realized that all colors could be counterfeited to the human eye by mixing three colors. The actual picture taking was done by Thomas Sutton, who photographed the ribbon 3 times through red, blue, and green filters. When the images were combined into one composite photograph, the blend recreated the true color of the ribbon. A decade earlier, the American minister Levi Hill claimed to have produced a color photograph, but it was largely fraudulent. His process, called heliochromy, had only a limited ability to reproduce color, so Hill hand-applied color to his photo. Therefore, Maxwell takes the crown. Maxwell is actually better known for his advancements in the field of physics. His research on electromagnetism was vital for the creation of technologies such as the telephone, radio, television, microwaves, and X-rays. Albert Einstein also used it when he was developing the theory of relativity. 3. The steam engine. The steam engine was really created by two men, the Englishman Thomas Newcomen, who in 1712 created the atmospheric engine, the first practical fuel-burning engine, and the Scot James Watt, who improved the steam engine to such an extent that he is better known today as its originator. By 1765, Watt had designed an engine with a separate condenser which improved efficiency. That may not sound impressive, but by 1778, Watt's design could be applied to power machinery in mines, mills, and factories instead of relying on water power. He was an essential figure in the Industrial Revolution, and his influence is still felt today. It was Watt who popularized the term horsepower, and his contribution to the world was deemed so significant that the Watt unit of power was named after him. 2. Modern anesthetic marvel. If you have had an operation that required a general anesthetic in the last 30 years, then Scotsman John B. Glenn is why you, hopefully, didn't feel any pain. Glenn was originally a vet, but in 1972, he joined ICI Pharmaceuticals, later acquired by AstraZeneca, as a research biologist, investigating a replacement for the anesthetic thiopental. This drug was good at knocking patients out, but left them feeling sick and dizzy when they regained consciousness. In 1973, Glenn realized that propofol, a substance that was already synthesized by the company, was fast-acting, but also left the system quickly. Glenn explains that during trials for the drug, they had mice walking on little rods like tightropes, and they regained their balance 3 minutes after waking up from propofol. It took 13 years to get the drug right, but it is now so widely used that the World Health Organization lists it as an essential medicine. So while not exactly the creator of the drug, his work essentially saved it from a life sitting on a dusty shelf in a storeroom somewhere, or something like that. 1. The flushing toilet. Scotland lays claim to not only the earliest indoor toilet, but also the invention of the flushing mechanism that is the foundation of modern sanitation. Some of the earliest known indoor toilets are found on Scotland's Orkney Islands, at the Neolithic site of Skara Brae. The stone huts of this 3000 BC village featured a very basic sewer system, where waste was flushed into a drain with pots of water. Even earlier, toilets in the Indus Valley region also included a pipe system to carry the soiled water away. But these early models required someone to manually pour water into the basin to flush. Contrary to popular belief, Thomas Crapper did not invent the flushing toilet. Rather, he was one of the leading manufacturers who later modified what had already been invented. Instead, Englishman Sir John Harington, ancestor of Games of Thrones actor Kit Harington, is usually credited as the true inventor. While Harington's Renaissance-era toilet featured many of the trappings of the modern toilet, he, unfortunately, failed to solve the smell issue. The award for solving that problem goes to Edinburgh-born Alexander Fleming, who in 1775 developed and patented the S-bend to block out bad smells from the connecting sewers. He also linked the water valve to the flush mechanism, which allowed users to empty the pan and refill it with fresh water with the pull of one handle.